Warriors Walkoff on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by Jefferson Pub and Grill. Meet me at the levee for fabulous food and drinks at Jefferson Pub and Grill. Come check out their great nightly specials and limited time offer menu. Jefferson Pub and Grill. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Warriors Walkoff on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. We'll start out with softball this week, and Coach Greg Jones joins us. And I have to ask you first about what's coming up this weekend, because I want to get this in. It's Senior Day. Now, obviously, that's important to the seniors, and players. Some players get it 4 times because they see all the other seniors before them. But you've seen quite a few. What does it mean to you, even now, to be saying goodbye to some of the seniors?
Oh, that's a loaded question. Senior Day is big for me. Seniors in general are big for me. One of those things, you get to know those kids for so long. You go through the recruiting process with them, bring them in as freshmen, watch them mature, watch them grow, watch them have a lot of success, and just get to know them as people and as individuals. And Senior Day has always been important to me, and it's always a big day to try to play well for them and get some wins at home the last time they walk on their home field. And we've had some great experiences with seniors having big days on their last day. We've had some great experiences with alumni coming back over the years talking about how much they miss it and how special the game is and how they'd love to play it one more time. And that's when you know Senior Day is important.
All right, so Reed Karsten is one of those. She'll be our guest a little bit later on, and she's put out some impressive numbers over her career at Winona State. What has she meant to this program, as a player and as a teammate?
Oh, there really aren't words. I mean, you start with the numbers that she's put up, it's just staggering. And if there were a Mount Rushmore of players at Winona State, she's on it. And, because what she has done physically on the field, the numbers she's put up across the board, obviously being the all-time hits leader at Winona State is something. We've had some great hitters, some elite hitters, we've had some All-Americans, we've had some special teams and some special kids. And to set the mark as high as she's going to set it is amazing. But then what she's done across the board with those numbers, and to be mentioned with all the different types of people that she's mentioned with, hits leaders, power numbers, RBIs, run production, those types of things. She's a dream leadoff hitter that we finally didn't have her to lead off until this year. But when we first got her in here, I thought, God, that kid's going to be a great leadoff hitter for us. And we've just kind of always used other people, but now we finally got her in that spot, and it's just been great for us.
You mentioned all-time hits leader, now 284 hits coming in, but she's also top 5 in all batting average all-time, runs, tied for first with triples, and single season batting average this year. She's at 432, which is just off of 453 is the all-time record, so she's in 3rd place there. But when I was looking at these numbers, it's different leaders in every category. What does it say about the program overall over the time that you've been here, that there are so many different people that are in these leading categories?
That we have good players. I mean, we're very fortunate to have some really quality kids come through this program, and they work hard. They work hard. We've worked hard at offense. We work hard at defense. We work hard at the game in general. But the kids are able to kind of keep their nose down and stay after it and grind it out, and they trust the process and stay with it. And we've had the longevity of it that we've had. I think that they believe in the system that we have in place and that they work at it, but that they stay with it, and they continue through that process to put up those numbers and don't walk away from it is important too.
Well, it's certainly been working, and you busted out of, I'd say, a losing streak. I kind of laugh at that. It was a 3-game losing streak, but you guys had a really good weekend. Let's start out with talking about the Minot games, because there is a power surge there, 9 home runs. Over the course of those couple games. What accounted for all the power this weekend?
Well, obviously we put some good swings on it, because when we walked into the place, I said nobody hit a home run today. The wind was blowing straight in and from right field, and so I thought, well, nobody's gonna hit the ball at the ballpark today. And our second hitter of the game, Jamie, hit one out by 25 feet, and okay, well, maybe I was wrong. And from there, the ball just jumped, and we hit the ball hard, and we hit the ball on a line, and we were able to hit the ball through the wind. Eventually the wind kind of changed directions, but there wasn't a ball hit that was wind aided. We just really drove the ball well and hit a lot of line drive home runs, and it was just good to see our kids put that kind of swing on the ball all the day.
Now, game 1, it was 11-0. You beat Minot, and Hannah Lithberg had a shutout. 6th shutout of the season. That's incredible.
Yeah. And we were just talking, actually, Reed and I on the way over here. Hannah isn't a shutout pitcher. That's not her forte. Her forte is to pitch to contact, make good pitches, get ahead in the count, and get people to get themselves out. But when she's really got it going on, she's good. I mean, when her stuff is really working, she can be unhittable. And skipping ahead a little bit to her first Mary game, her drop ball was so good, and she just was cruising there for a while. And so she has no hit stuff when she's really throwing well.
Let's go back to the second game against Minot, 13-6. You're actually trailing 6-4 heading into the 7th inning. What was it like at that point, knowing that you were down and it had such a good first game, and now you were in danger of losing the second game?
Well, I don't think that we weren't real frustrated at the time, or at least I wasn't. It goes back to talking about seniors. Our seniors stepped up. Shannon Nelson leads off and gets a big hit for us, and Shannon's been kind of a part-time player in and out of the lineup over 4 years, and steps up in a leadoff role and gets a big base hit, and Reed steps up and hits a 2-run homer. And from there, I really relaxed. I felt like, okay, there's still nobody out. Now it's a tie game. We can play all day with these guys, and we'll beat them. I didn't foresee that we were going to hit 4 home runs in that inning, or 3 more after that one. I never saw that one coming at all. But again, they just continued to put good swings on it. They stayed upbeat. They stayed positive in the process, and were able to do it, and really just kind of put it out of reach.
Just a couple minutes left in this segment. We'll talk about the Mary games next. A big one in the first one, 14-5. What stood out to you in that game?
Again, the wind was blowing out that day hard. The weather was not ideal. It was 27 degrees at game time. So to me, it was going to be a battle of, our mental ability to stay in it and stay focused on the game. And I thought we were able to do that. Again, we put some good swings on it. We stayed aggressive at the plate. I don't think the wind changed much offensively in the game because you were always so tense. You couldn't be free and easy. But again, we just did a nice job, staying within ourselves and taking what the game gave us.
And then unfortunately to end the weekend, a 6-5 loss in 9 innings. You talked about the mental aspect of the game. Mary had a 4-run 7th inning in that game. What happened that everything just kind of fell apart in this one?
Yeah, that was frustrating. You had a 4-run lead with 1 out in the 7th inning. You just need to lock it down. And they got 2 balls up and out of the ballpark. And we had Hannah up in the bullpen. I don't think she was quite ready yet. We eventually brought her in a tie game, but we just couldn't put the cork back in the bottle fast enough. And credit to them. I think the biggest problem that we tried to address the team with was they were able to have 2, 3, 4 coming up at the exact right time. And we had let them roll the lineup over too many times. We just made too many other mistakes throughout the game. Inability to take hits away, a couple mistakes here and there defensively that allowed them to be to the good part of the order instead of maybe at the bottom of their order in the 7th inning down that many runs, that they were able to be right like we were against Minot. We were right where we needed to be. There was not a doubt in my mind against Minot we were going to have a chance to score. Whether or not we were going to score or not, I felt like, okay, we'll give ourselves a chance to tie this game. And obviously we went beyond that. And I felt the same thing here. Well, we've just got to make sure that we can keep the ball in the ballpark and we give ourselves a chance. Well, we didn't do that.
All right. So. Well, you got an 8-game homestand coming up, so hopefully that leads to a good week for Warriors softball.
You bet.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Warriors Walkoff. When we come back, we'll get the player perspective with Reed Karsten right after this. Warriors Walkoff on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by Jefferson Pub and Grill. Meet me at the levee for fabulous food and drinks at Jefferson Pub and Grill. Come check out their great nightly specials and limited time offer menu, Jefferson Pub and Grill. Tune in for the Sports Buzz every Tuesday at 5:30 as a panel of local sports journalists tackle the hottest topics on everything from local high school and collegiate sports to regional discussion about the Twins, Brewers, Vikings, and Packers. With the Power Play Fantasy Football Challenge to the Rant of the Week and NFL Pick'em, the Sports Buzz is fast-paced and sure to entertain. That's new episodes of the Sports Buzz every Tuesday at 5:30 with replays only on HBC TV 25. And welcome back to Warriors Walkoff on HBC TV 25. Now joined by Reed Karsten, senior outfielder. Thanks for joining us here today.
Yep, not a problem.
I want to go back first to high school. I was trying to do a little bit of research and find out some interesting things about people. And you had your senior season in high school, go to the state tournament. But the way that you got there was really interesting. State semifinal, you're on third base. You want to complete the story there?
Oh yeah, I was trying to think about it. It was supposed to be a squeeze bunt, and she missed the bunt. So I was halfway. I'm like, well, oh crap. And so I tried diving back, and she overthrew the ball, and yep.
Extra
I scored.
innings on a game for the state championship, and your coach goes with a suicide squeeze. That's pretty impressive that they would have that much confidence. Is that kind of the way that your team was, that you would kind of go for broke all the time?
Yeah, I mean, basically, all 4 years kind of to that extent, so, yep.
Okay, yeah, what was it like winning a state championship then? Because then you followed that up, getting to the state title, and you win.
Well, my senior year, we actually got second, and then my
sorry,
junior
yeah,
year, we
junior,
won.
okay.
I think that's how it went. I don't know, it was kind of surreal because at the beginning of the year, we weren't really confident in our abilities, and we weren't into the team as much, I guess you can say, but it was kind of surprising. We all did our jobs. We all, did what we were supposed to do and just grinded it out, and it worked to our advantage.
All right, moving ahead then, you go to Winona State. What drew you to Winona State in the first place?
Well, a senior when I was a freshman, she didn't play here. She played volleyball and basketball in high school, but she went to Winona. So, and I want to go D2 because I want to go to a good program and not, a lot of people have that like D1 dream, and that's not who I was. I wanted to win a national championship, and this was the best case scenario. So that and purple. I liked purple.
That's a good reason. Great freshman season. You started all 51 games. You hit 375. What was it like to be thrown into the fire of college softball right away and have to perform at the highest level?
I don't know if it was like terribly different, just because a lot in high school, my coach, like we didn't really play. I mean, we played in conference teams, then we tried to like go more towards Chicago because I'm from Illinois, and so play better teams that way. So pitching wise, it wasn't like terribly different, but like defensively, so like the opponents' hitters and everything like that, that was where I got a little better. They could hit a lot better than high schoolers.
All right, well, ask your coach then. That's a lot of faith to have in a freshman to come in and start her in the outfield all the games of the season. What is it that you saw in her that gave you the confidence to start her all those games?
Well, right away in the fall, when she came in, I think the first thing I noticed was her defense in right field. And she made some plays in fall ball, made some throws in the fall that were dramatic and game-changing, and you don't get that a lot in the outfield. Not that you can't, but you just don't see that a lot. And she was able to change the game with her defense, and that was the first thing we noticed. And then the offense really came, and on top of it, how clutch she was offensively early at a young age. That shows great maturity, and so that's kind of what kept her going, and we had her right in the top of the order, and we've never looked back.
All right, well, as we said, you're the all-time hits leader at Winona State, but you actually had to change your style between freshman and sophomore. You were more of a slap hitter freshman year, and then you kind of opened up your swing a little bit more. What was that kind of transition like?
Well, I'm still a slapper, but I think just lifting. I mean, you gain a lot of muscle, so I think that's really it. I don't really know.
Okay, is it a big philosophical difference to be at the plate and decide you're going to swing a little bit differently? No.
I mean, I always just kind of swing through it. I think it's just like with gaining muscle and everything.
Okay. Then I want to ask you about Twitter. You have a very interesting Twitter account looking up information on you. I know you kind of chronicle some of the things that your teammates say, which is very interesting.
Oh, gosh.
How do your teammates feel about that? Because you put some really interesting stuff out on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny. We make fun of Hannah a lot. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that. I don't know. Hannah's a goofy character, so it's funny to just narrate her life.
She's the main person that you quote on there. And last question that we have for you, what's the strangest thing that you've heard a teammate say? It's kind of hard to pick.
I don't know. Probably anything Katie says, honestly. I don't know. One of the freshmen.
Okay. And I lied about last question. I'll do this for the last question. What does it feel like to have a record at Winona State, an all-time record, as we said, in hits, and then be in the top 5 in several other categories?
I honestly try not to really think about it because, I mean, it's me getting my job done. It's what I'm supposed to do. So I don't really think about like the aspect of having like, oh, career hits leader. It's just like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I don't know. I kind of don't like to think about it that way.
All right. We'll let you off the hook here and let you get back to work then. Thank you for joining us here today.
No problem.
We're going to take a break here on Warriors Walkoff, and when we come back, we'll switch to baseball. That'll be right after this. Warriors Walkoff on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by Jefferson Pub and Grill. Meet me at the levee for fabulous food and drinks at Jefferson Pub and Grill. Come check out their great nightly specials and limited time offer menu, Jefferson Pub and Grill.
We chose HBC because they're a local company. They have a big audience in Winona, which is the geographic group that we're looking for. Mel is very easy to work with. She's genuinely concerned about how our money is being spent, and she does everything she can to make sure we get the most for our money. She takes care of us. So whenever there's a problem, which is rarely, I know that I can go to her and she's going to take care of it.
To see how HBC advertising can help your company, call Melanie at 507-474-5802.
And welcome back to Warriors Walkoff here on HBC TV 25. Time now to talk baseball, and we have Matt O'Brien from the Warrior baseball team along with us. And I think officially you're a graduate assistant, but you're also kind of a pitching coach for the Warriors. So thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about your history. Former Warrior, former Rambler, and then now coming back to coach a little bit. Talk about your history in baseball and what you've gone through.
Sure. Yeah, I'm from Winona, born and raised. Went to Cotter High School, played baseball there. Actually went to North Iowa Area Community College for 2 years. And then I was fortunate to come back home, play some baseball. Got into coaching and was the assistant at Cotter for some time there. And then I was the head coach there for 3 years. While I was a head coach there, I was fortunate to ask Coach Boak if he needed any help. Started volunteering, working with the pitchers, and that's where I'm at right now.
So when you were pitching for Winona State or even in community college days, did you ever think that this was something that you would want to do once that was finished?
Yeah, as I was kind of finishing up there, I was asked actually by another Matt O'Brien from the area if I wanted to help out with the youth baseball programs, and I got into doing that, and it felt really great to kind of give back to the community, and I thought that would be kind of a nice route to take after I was done.
All right, let's talk about what some of your responsibilities are, because as we said, you're kind of a graduate assistant, but also one of the assistant coaches on the team. So what's your role with the Warrior baseball program?
Predominantly, I work with the pitching staff. I do the day-to-day, conditioning, the pitching plan for the week. And then I also work a little bit with our outfielders defensively, and then I help a lot with the recruiting as well.
You have 13 pitchers that have seen action this year. 8 have made starts. Is that kind of an anomaly? That seems like a lot of people that have been on the mound for the Warriors this year.
Yeah, I mean, actually, we play 6 games a week, so we need 6 starters. And we started out with about 16 pitchers, and we had 3 of our guys that would be in our starting rotation go down with injury. So we've had some young guys have to step into some big inning roles, and fortunately they've kind of answered the bell that way and thrown fairly well.
The team has kind of struggled at the beginning of the season, but I think this week was a really good week for Warrior baseball. Do you think they played their best baseball this week that they've had all season?
Yeah, I mean, I think our guys are starting to really come around. I think at the start of the year, you tend to kind of press. We've had one of the deepest teams that we've had in quite some time. So I think, that kind of weighs on you, trying to get guys consistent at bats and stuff like that. But, these last couple of weeks we've been really focused. Guys are a lot more confident, and, we're just taking it game by game, day by day. And I think, we're starting to come around and play some good baseball.
Let's go back to Thursday and talk about the doubleheader that you had with Southwest Minnesota State. Josh Nielsen had a complete game pitching performance. Just the second time that week that you got a complete game from a pitcher, and I think it was Nielsen both times that got that. How important is it, as you said, playing 6 games in a week, that you go deep with the starting pitcher and kind of get deep into games?
Yeah, I know I mentioned to our guys, with right now about 12 healthy pitchers, we've really leaned on our 6 starters, and anytime you can get guys to go deep into a game, it really helps your pitching staff. But our starters have been very efficient. They've been keeping their pitch counts down. They've been attacking hitters, and Josh, that was a start we really needed. We had those bunched up games there. We were playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, and for him to go out and throw the way he did was just big for us. Very big game.
Also in that game, got a couple of sacrifice flies in that game, and I know I talked to Coach Polk about that was one of the main points of emphasis this season, is trying to get those runners across. From the pitching perspective, how important is it to see some players try to do small ball or try to do things like a sacrifice fly to get runners across to get some support?
Well, especially at the college level, it's tough to keep offenses down. throughout the game. And so if you can get a couple runs early in the game, take a little pressure off of your pitching staff, it allows you to get a little bit more comfortable and not have to be so perfect during the game. And you know, our offense is starting to come around, and that's just going to breed more confidence into our pitching staff. So, like I said, it's been fun to watch.
The second game of that Southwest series, Southwest got out to a quick lead. Talk about from that perspective, when you see your team down and you see a pitcher kind of struggling a little bit in a game, you know, do you have kind of a quick hook, or do you let them stay out there to try to finish off what they started?
Well, like I said, because of our shortened staff, you know, we try to have our guys, you know, try to, you know, we always, our big motto is, you know, you're one pitch away. You know, so you're one pitch away from getting back on track, one pitch away maybe from getting out of the inning. So, you know, if they can figure it out and help us out by getting out of an inning, it's going to save our arms. But, you know, with our offense, especially how it's clicking right now, if we can just throw up some zeros, keep the other team at bay, then your hitters can start getting into a rhythm and start scoring runs for you now, and then you're back into a game.
All right, talk about the offense just a little bit. You know, what is it like in the dugout right now? What is it like in between games now that the offense is clicking just a little bit more?
Yeah, it's a lot more relaxed. You know, I mean, guys are having a lot of fun. You know, and I really do think, you know, it's contagious. You know, when one guy gets hot, then the next guy behind him does something special, and you can just sense in our dugout that something good's going to happen, and then that's more relaxing. Then guys aren't pressing to try to do more than they need to. But you know, I think that's the big key to our last 10 games is that you know, guys are confident in each other and they're relaxed and they're getting good pitches to hit, and that just kind of translates over to the rest of the guys.
Mitch Voter has kind of slipped back into the closer role, at least this week. He had a couple of different saves. Talk about him in that role, and how important is it that you're able to get to that point now in the season where you can throw a closer in there and get the wins?
Yeah, I mean, having Mitch is pretty special. You know, I know it's tough when you're a closer and early in the season you're not getting a lot of opportunities because we're not getting in those save situations. But you know, I think you saw this past weekend, you know, 3 games, 3 saves. When you can put, you know, him on the mound, a guy like him on the mound, and in that last inning, you're only up at 2 runs with his velocity and his kind of stuff. You just feel a relief knowing that there's a good chance he's going to close the game out.
And then you got a couple of games that were road games, back to home games because of the weather situation, but now I think you're going to be heading out on the road again. What is it like to be facing such a long road trip? Because I know that I think now it's maybe 6-8 games that you're going to be playing out on the road.
Yeah, it felt good to get, you know, a couple of those games back. We went to Crookston. We were supposed to play at home, but, you know, we had a 4-game stretch with Bemidji back here. And, you know, there's good and bad with playing away and playing at home. A good part about going away sometimes is, you know, guys get away from some distractions. But I think if you ask most of the guys, if the weather's nice, they're all for it. You know, if you have to travel somewhere where it's 28 degrees, you know, it's a little bit difficult. But, you know, I think Wayne stayed on Wednesday. It's supposed to be 72. I'm hearing that we're getting 60s, 70s in Bismarck, North Dakota, which is pretty outstanding. So yeah, I think our guys right now, when you're on a roll, are just they're excited just to play baseball wherever the games are.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take a break here on Warriors Walkoff. We'll come back with the player perspective right after this. Warriors Walkoff on HBC TV 25 is brought to you by Jefferson Pub and Grill. Meet me at the levee for fabulous food and drinks at Jefferson Pub and Grill. Come check out their great nightly specials and limited time offer menu, Jefferson Pub and Grill.
Hi, I'm Dan Picarino with HBC. Our goal has always been to offer the very best TV experience and value possible. Customers often ask, why do we have to pay for a bunch of channels we don't even watch? It's kind of like this. Imagine going into a convenience store and wanting to buy a bag of chips. But to get those chips, you're required to also purchase a candy bar, a slice of pizza, a sandwich, and a pack of gum. That's how one channel you want becomes 4, 5, or even more channels in your lineup. Today, there are 6 multi-billion-dollar corporations that control 90% of the existing networks and programming. We feel strongly that these corporations should not be allowed to double or triple their rates from year to year. There are times that HBC must challenge these media companies to keep their rates reasonable. We hope you will join us in this fight. Please visit tvonmyside.com/HBC to learn more. And thank you for choosing HBC.
And welcome back to Warriors Walkoff here on HBC TV 25. Joe Kubera, sophomore outfielder and pitcher, joins us. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start by kind of going back to your decision to play college baseball and come to Winona State. What is it that drew you here to Winona State?
The coaching staff was really nice. When I came on campus, I really liked Coach Riley, who you had last week. He was really nice to me. It's like how everyone talks about it. You're just on campus and you feel it. And as soon as I stepped on, I just knew I wanted to come here.
Now, your father played college baseball, is that
He did.
correct?
He did at Bradley, yes.
And did he have any kind of words of advice for you as you were moving along your baseball career?
He told me, kind of the cliche stuff. Nothing's given, everything's earned. So he always preached about hard work to me. I like to take that in here.
All right. When we were talking to Coach O'Brien, we were talking about kind of the role that you guys have been on lately, playing some really good baseball. From the player perspective, do you guys think you're playing your best baseball right now?
Right now we're playing really well, but I don't think we're nearly at what our potential can be. I think our goal towards the end of the year is to peak, and we haven't peaked yet, so that's our goal, is just to keep improving week by week, and hopefully by the end of the year we're in the conference tournament and playing our best ball.
All right. Now, last year you kind of had a tough year because you only played one game and then you got injured. Can you kind of walk us through the injury and walk us through the process of getting over that injury?
Yeah. I was just playing catch one day, like right before the season, and I threw a ball, and it just sounded like a sheet of paper tore in my elbow, so it was just like I knew something was wrong. Had to get surgery on that, and then as I was trying to come back, I hurt my hand. I had to get surgery on that too. So it was a big chain of bad luck, but the whole rehab process was fun because every day you improve, So it's just it's been a fun process, and getting back to where I am now, I love it.
Now, you had already had to sit out one season because you redshirted your first season. What did you learn from the redshirt season, and what was it like to have to sit out another season?
Yeah, well, when you come in as a high school kid, you think you're really good, and then you get to the college level, and the speed of the game definitely is faster. And I got to sit out, and the center fielder when I was there was Cody Strang, and he was an All-American that year, so it was just cool to see someone who was really good play at that high of a level, and it just allowed me to want to work harder and prepare and be the best I could be.
All right. Now, we talked about the pitching staff and the fact that you've had some pitchers go down, and you've had a lot of people that have taken the mound this year. This season for you, you have 2 wins in 3 2/3 innings pitched. That's pretty good. What's it like to get that kind of success in only a couple innings?
Yeah, the guys on the team like to give me a hard time because they say I snake a lot of wins. I come in at opportune moments, it seems like, but it's fun. Especially from being hurt last year, it's always awesome to come back and throw. And when you got Mitch Voter coming in behind you, it's just all you got to do is get outs, and then he's going to close the game out. So it's nice.
Coach O'Brien, from your perspective as a former pitcher, when you get, I don't want to say easy wins, but you don't have to work very much to get those wins. What's that like?
Well, yeah, that's a coach's dream right there. So for him, that's great. But if you look at the games that he's got wins in, they were definitely earned. He came into some tough spots and some big moments, and that's kind of the luxury with having Joe. Is a lot of other teams, Joe could be somebody's closer, and we'll use him as that at sometimes when we need to give Mitch some rest. But it's a luxury to have him back.
All right. What are some of the things that you guys need to do now to get to that conference tournament, like you said, and kind of keep building on the momentum that you have so far this season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing isn't taking any games off. As we saw Thursday, we felt like we could have got 2 wins from Southwest, but they, you take a game off, and they showed how well their offense is. Even this weekend against Bemidji, it would have been nice to get 4, but as you can see, you take, just the slightest step back, and someone's right down your throat ready to get you. So I think if we just play consistent baseball, good things will happen to us.
All right, time now for our last question. I know you've been kind of dreading this a little bit.
Yeah,
All right, so here's the question. Have you heard back from Katy Perry?
No, I haven't. I was kind of upset because I thought, I got a lot of retweets and a lot of favorites on that, so I thought I'd get a little extra attention from Hollywood there, but she has not gotten back to me yet, but, I'll give it another try.
Quick recap for people that don't know. I think it was Warriors Got Talent that you replicated the Katy Perry halftime show as your talent. And it looked pretty good. I thought you did a really good job on that, the video that you reposted.
It was. I didn't get the awards. I didn't win that day, but, there's always next year for Warriors Got Talent.
All right, well, hopefully we can make this go viral, and maybe we'll get a tweet from Katy Perry.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
All right, well, thank you for joining us this week, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week here on Warriors Walk Off.